Hey, y'all, making his debut on Around the Rim. I got the Kings head coach, James Brito-White. James, say hello to all the people in the interwebs out there.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's very nice to meet you, Nesta. It's been a long time coming.
It's
I've
been a long time.
been watching the show ever since I was a kid, ever since high school. It's been there's a really special moment for me.
And we're going to get into that and other stuff. You make me feel old, brother, but you know what? I am an old brother. So we'll be back right after the open. Back in this virtual studio, my friends of Around the Rim, hashtag ATR. I'm your host, the Dudster, Nesta Dudley, along with head coach of the Kings that I sit at the tap, James Brito-White. And James, since you have been watching me since you were a youngin', since you were a young man, I know that you have seen me this year in both my preseason premiere, my season premiere, I should say, easy for me to say, and my midseason report card. I've had the Kings finishing either in the 2 or 3rd slot right now and going to the madness. Right now, the Kings are in the 2nd slot. Talk to me, brother.
Well, of course, at first, I disagree with that. Of course, I always want my team to be first on the standings, and but over time, what I've learned from the season is that it's very even. Every team is very, very competitive. A lot of skill on every single team. A lot of great coaches. That's the main thing with this league that I love is that, especially this season, it's very even. So, you got to bring your A game every single week.
A game and A game you got to bring every week. And your roster, they bring that game every week. I can read down it quickly. And again, let me know if I mispronounce the name because I am famous for doing that. Zayden Pierre, Bradley Luigi, Aiden Green, Hakeem Francillian, Escalade. And I've been calling Escalade that too. Yeah, Escalade. Love that nickname. You named him that, not me. Steve Gillette, Cedric Mathley, Marcus Pierre, Jacoby Hampton, Logan Johnson, Jemiah Reeves, Chris Rodriguez, Adam Haddad, and Jimmy Lynn. How did I do?
You did good. I think you did great.
Okay, very good.
You did just as good as me. Like I always tell people, don't have me at graduation.
So, Coach, last year was your first year coaching in the MNBL, the Multi-Neighbor Basketball League. So what you did, you had a draft and you drafted your players, but you also inherited players. So you inherited players that you did not see until the first practice. So you have a mold of how you want your team to be. You drafted in your mold, but you inherited something that wasn't necessarily in your mold. How did you get that team to mesh last year? Because your team did mesh last year.
Well, I think it just came down to practice. It really came down to all the kids just showing up every single week, just trying the hardest and at the end of the day, just trying to take on the coaching that I was trying to give them. You can go out there and just play, 5-on-5, but if you're not playing with team chemistry, it doesn't mean much. So I was really happy with the former coach Chris Rogers. He actually left me some great kids. We had Terrell Zoo, Aiden Green, Zayden Pierre. Those and Bradley Luigi. Those are just some great guys that actually helped part of our core team last year. And then with a couple of additions, we had Jay Caesar and I forgot my other guy's name. My man, Antonio. Antonio. Yeah, my senior Antonio, and he was a huge part of our team last year. But the main thing, like I said, is just the guys just showing up every week, taking the coaching, and just understanding that just we progress every single week, just not giving up, progressing every week, and just let the season go by. And then, and of course we got to a point where we actually were competing for that last playoff spot towards the end, and we just missed it just by a nudge to the Celtics. Just missed it.
That's a great segue, getting better every week, because not only did that team get better every week, it continued the flow, it continued the trend upwards to this season, Coach. Your team, as I said at the first show, this is not the Kings from last year. So I saw the potential and the talent in your team, and your team has been getting better and better and better each week. And I just love your coaching style, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have a little old school coach style. Former coach Gary Rogers. He brought me up as a young pup, and I kind of resemble his coaching styles of just make sure it's all teamwork, very disciplined, and the main thing is hitting all the key points in practice. That's just that's one thing I gotta grab from him.
Gary Rogers, a very successful coach in the Mall Neighborhood Basketball League. He has won a couple of titles with a couple of different teams. And Gary Rogers always has that beach ball out. Are you going to bring out the beach ball at practice? He had his team, but no, not the beach ball, medicine ball.
The medicine ball. Yep,
medicine ball. He had the medicine ball. Are we going to be seeing a medicine ball at your practices?
Not this year. I forgot all about the medicine ball. I might have to actually have him come out of practice and show me those drills with the medicine ball. I might have to do that. But key point of our practice is just make sure that, conditioning. Conditioning is always key because, it's a long game. It's 40 minutes. And the way I like to condition is just to do it all basketball drills. It's not about suicides. It's about try to get the skills, but also keep the fast pace to kind of keep the kids involved and try to keep them enthused throughout the whole practice.
Well, Coach, you hear the music. It is that time. We are caught up. You said, we're going to take it easy on you. You know what this is.
Help me. I like to fly.
You are caught up in the MNBL Web. So what this segment is, my friends out there, is that I can ask my guests anything I want. In this case, is head coach of the Kings, James Brito-White, anything that I might do. And it may or may not have to do with the basketball, with the Mall Neighborhood Basketball League. So, James, I guess it's going to be the periphery of the Mall Neighborhood Basketball League. You and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago of shows that came on in Malden Access Television that you used to watch as a youngin'. You used to watch Around the Rim. What was that other show you used to watch?
Oh, the wrestling show. What was it, Wrestle Zone?
Wrestling Center.
Wrestling Center. Oh, I love that. Is it because they used to show all the highlights of all the Monday nights? And, you have Rob in there. I know yourself used to do some wrestling. I know you're retired now. I believe it was the old head coach, Glenn for the Kings. He was on that show a lot. That was a show that I used to watch religiously when I was home because I didn't have cable for a couple of years. Used to watch religiously was Wrestling Center and Around the Rim. Those are my two shows.
Little did we know how popular we were back in the day, and little did we know, it is so cool on my end to be actually having someone who was a youngin' watching the show, now being a guest on the show, and being a guest in the capacity of a head coach, which is no easy job in the Malden Neighborhood Basketball League.
Oh, no, it is not. Especially with these kids. But, one main thing that I'm really happy with is that you guys accepted me in, yourself. You like to call Day One, Steve Wright, Coach Wright, Kem Johnson, Coach Magic. Those guys, like I said, I've been looking up to you guys for a long time, and I'm really happy that you guys asked me to kind of be part of this league because I know you guys have a little fraternity, and being part of high school sports, we always kind of were on the outskirts of it. Never really got to be a part of it. We always got to kind of look from the outside in. So now being inside of it, it's an amazing feeling, and it's very humbling too. Because when you coach high school, you get all the good ones, but now we get some kids that are not as good. But your job every week is to get them better every single week, and I love that. I love that process of it.
And so far, you have been excelling in that process. So you keep on doing the good work, and you keep on doing you. So, Coach, you are officially out of the web. We took it easy on you.
I appreciate it. But one thing I want you to bring back, Nesta, I want you to bring back the Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen?
Dirty Dozen, man. I got to see those cats who have all the fouls. I want you to bring that back.
I will take that under advisement. You know, the Dirty Dozen was actually a favorite of mine. And we did the Dirty Dozen for over a decade, so much more over a decade. I don't know how many years that we actually did it. But Officer Chuck Washington, who was on the coaching squad of the Pistons right now, well, when he was a player for the Pistons, he was the dirtiest dozen of them all 3 years that he played. And that's something that he takes pride in.
Hey, you need the enforcer. You need an enforcer. You must have been watching those old bad boy Piston tapes, man. That's what you must have been doing. Gotta bring it back with him, right?
I'll take that under strong advisement, and you're not the only one that has ever said that, but you're the only one that said it on record. So that means that I've been put on the spot. I've been put on blast. I'm going to have to try to, reassess during the 9-month off season that I'm going to have coming up in a few short weeks. So this season is just flying by.
Nice.
But back to this season, your Kings, as I said, is not your last year Kings squad. You're progressively getting better every week. Right now, there is one obstacle that's not only in front of the Kings, it's in front of the rest of the 4 teams as well. And that obstacle is the Pistons. Very tough squad, only have 2 losses, and unfortunately, they got the best of your team last night, Coach. Tell us about that Pistons squad. What do you need to do to get past that Pistons squad?
We beat them twice. We beat them in the Jamboree, and we beat them the first game of the season pretty handily. Actually, not pretty handily. We actually, I think it was like an 8-point lead, and then towards the end, they kind of gave up, and then we kind of pushed the 20. So I don't really count that, but it was a very competitive game. They have really good players, a great coach with Danny and Chuck. They're doing a great job with those guys. Just the main thing is this, cutting off those cherry pickings, man. We got to get our guys running back on defense. And, when we see them Saturday, we're gonna try to work on that and try to slow them down a little bit. They're a very fast-paced team. And then, these guys slow them down a little bit because, once we get them slowed down on the offense side, they struggle a little bit. So hopefully, all our plays are pretty ticked off yesterday. But one thing I loved is that they played to the end. They played tough all the way to the end, and they showed emotion. But they showed emotion in a good way, not a bad way. They weren't trying to fight them, but they're in the locker room saying we're gonna get them back on Saturday. So hopefully my team comes ready to play, and I think it's gonna be a real good one. But as you know, season's a season. But once you get to the madness, it doesn't matter. 0-0.
Exactly 0-0. Once you get to the madness, anything can happen in the madness. Well, that's why they call the madness. You talk about the team cherry picking. I witnessed it last night at halftime. They only had you by 6, and first few baskets cherry picking, they just opened up a lead that it was tough to come back. You guys did. You guys made it a good run. But I think, in my opinion, that if they didn't have those 6 to 8 points at the beginning of the third, it could have possibly been a different outcome.
Oh yes, I think it was the beginning of the fourth where we cut it down, like you said, down to 6, and then just we have a young freshman, Adam. He's actually playing great. He always gets some good points off the bench for us. But thing is that with those short legs, a little tough run back down the court, man. So hopefully we have Cedric back, and then hopefully Zayden's back from vacation at that time, so we get a little bit longer legs to kind of get back on defense. But one thing is that what's been great is that Marcus and Jacoby, they've been doing a great job leading this team for the last couple of weeks, just trying to get these younger guys just staying in tune and playing as a team. And that's one thing that's great is that everyone kind of checks each other. There's no alpha. Everyone kind of works together, and everyone bought into the coaching, my coaching of spreading the ball, and everyone scores, not just one person. Everyone's going to try to get points.
Well, you say there are no alpha. I think there is one alpha, and that one alpha is the only alpha that should it be, and that's you. They know whose team it is. They know who the leader is, and they listen to you. You speak their language. You have their complete attention.
Yes, sir. But it also comes to listen to them as well. I got to trust now. They got to trust me just as much as I got to trust them. So if there's any in-game adjustments, I'm always trying to listen to them and try and get their input because they're the ones on the court. They're the ones that are playing. So you got to listen to them first.
Everybody's learning from each other. I got to tell you, Coach, I'm a big fan of yours, and your last 2 sentences just made me even a bigger fan. I think you're going to be my favorite coach now. Forget about Beanie Yvens. You're going to be my favorite coach. But right now, let's go into the Rollers. This weekend's play how it went down. Okay, this past week, the week of February 15th at the Featherweight School, the first game, Bullets versus Kings. The Kings 2 points better than the Bullets, 44-42. Bowling led high score for the Bullets, 14 points. Hampton led all scores with 20 points. As the Kings improved to 6-3, the Bullets dropped to 6-4. Next game, Celtics-Lakers. Celtics beat the Lakers 33-28. Earley, high man for the Lakers, 7 points. Dorasant led all scores with 15 points. As the Celtics improved to 4-5, the Lakers dropped to 0-10-1, and more about that one later on in the show. Next game, first game Sunday, Celtics-Bullets. Celtics over the Bullets 53-45. Bowling, high man for the Bullets, 18 points. Telmac led all scores with 21 points. As the Celtics improved to 500 ball, 5-5, the Bullets dropped to 6-2. And that second and final game, Pistons 61, Sixers 56. Juarbe, high man for the Sixers, 22 points. Wallace led all scores by 26 points. As the Pistons improved to 7-2, and the Sixers dropped to 5-4-1. And that's how it all. And we had, that's right, last night's game. I almost cut out early. First game last night, Pistons-Kings. And the Pistons over the Kings, 60-35. Hampton, high man for the Kings, 16 points. Wallace led all scores at 17 points. As the Pistons improved to 8-2, Kings dropped to 6-4. And the final game of last night's, this is up to date, the Bullets and the Celtics. Celtics 60, Bullets 49. Bowling, high man for the Bullets, 11 points. Telmac led all scores with 13 points. As the Celtics improve to 6-5, going over 500 ball for the first time this season, while the Bullets drop down to 500 ball, 6-6. And that's how it all went down in this past weekend's play. Well, now on to the week that I thought you were going to leave.
Oh, no. Honestly, I was, the lead off that last game, I'm not going to lie. I'm very impressed by that Celtics team. Falling down, I think it was 0-3 or 1-4. But, man, those kids don't quit, man. Those kids show up every single week to practice. See, they have 10 to 12 kids every single practice, and they're hungry. And that goes all to their coaching. The coaching, like we talked about, just trying to get them motivated throughout the season. And he's done that job. Magic's done a great job along with his staff. They every single week they come out and they play as a team and they get them better. And my favorite player in the league, the silent man, the assassin, Jack Sweeney. That's my guy right there. That's my favorite player in the league. Because he's silent, he's always killing it, man. You don't expect much from him, but he'll get a quick 18 on you without you even knowing.
He can hand it to you before you blink.
Yep.
And now on to the weekly Around the Rim Awards. So self-kickage. Player of the week, Robert Wallace of the Pistons. Coach of the week, Yvens, Riviere, the Magic Man of the Celtics. Just talking about those Celtics. Team of the week, the Celtics. They are playing a tough basketball, really, really good basketball. If you don't believe me, listen to the head coach, James. We just talked about those Celtics climbing over 500 ball. Team of the week. And Woo of the week goes to Jose Juarbe of the Sixers. Why? Because I have to tell you, Coach, he is a junior, but the first 2 years, he didn't say boo. I wasn't even sure that he could speak. When they lost the other day to the Pistons, he was so upset. He was hollering. He was fussing. There was a whole heap of cussing, walking down the hallway, cussing like a sailor on a 3-day pass. I'm like, putting up a career-high 22 points, showing he has the heart. That is Woo of the week. So, Jose Juarbe, this compromise woo is for you. Woo! That was a little bit better. That's my best woo in a few years. Post that surgery, I just got to get better than that. But how do you recover from the surgery when it comes to your larynx? I don't know. So, so let's go to the standings. Right now, Pistons are top of the league, and these standings, these records include last night's games. Pistons on top of the league right now, 8-2, followed by the mighty Kings, 6-4. Celtics climbing up to the third slot, 6-5. Bullets, 6-6. Sixers falling out of madness contention for the first time this season, 5-4. And the Lakers still on the schneid, 0-10. Both the Sixers and the Lakers have one tie, and that'll be settled this weekend. And speaking of this weekend, This weekend's play, Saturday, February 22nd. First game, Pistons versus the Kings. The second game is going to be the Lakers versus the Sixers. The first, they're essentially going to play kind of a doubleheader. They're going to play a 5-minute overtime game where only the players that were there 2 weekends ago are eligible to play. After those 5 minutes, if it doesn't go another OT, the next game, all players are eligible. So in that second game, hashtag pre-game OT. Sunday's play, first game, Sixers Celtics. Second game, Bullets Pistons. And in that second game, hashtag mini crisis. Are our defending neighborhood league champs in a mini crisis? They've dropped 3 games straight.
Yeah, it doesn't do them justice. You know, they're a very well coached team. They play great. They play great together. That Bulls team, they I think they surprised everybody this year. A lot of them, including yourself, you know, didn't really have them really doing much. But you know, that 5th round pick against Chase Bowling was key.
How did he last in the 5th round? I had said from the Jamboree that they didn't show any firepower. I don't think he was at the Jamboree. Their firepower was at the Jamboree. So he is not the whole team, but he is certainly the leader, and everything flows around him, and they feed off him. And boy, did I get it wrong the very first show. But it wasn't my fault because they didn't have a full squad there.
Oh, no, not at all. But, you know, Coach Gagnon, you know, he threw it in there to everybody. He's saying that he's a problem child, so kind of shoot him away a little bit. You know how the draft is. Everyone has their little games going on.
The only problem I see is that he went so late in the draft.
Yeah, I know. And we messed up. Me and Coach June, we messed up because we actually had him when we coached him in his freshman year. The mess up, we forgot his last name. Forgot his last name. The whole time we're like, is this the Chase we're talking about? And yep, then yeah. So shame on us. But it's all right. You know, I love it because it makes the league more spread out. That's what I love. I love competitiveness. I don't like it being easy because, you know, life's not easy. You know, so
life is not easy,
life's
brother.
Not easy.
You have said that, and I think in the Mall Neighborhood Basketball League, that is a little microcosm of life where these young players can learn a little bit about life before they graduate. But we hear that music right now. February, Black History Month. So we're going to have our Black History moment. So this is the time where we drop some knowledge. This week, Black History moment, Charity Adams Earley, 1918 to 2002. U.S. Army officer. Adams was the first African-American woman to become an officer in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, later WACs, and was the commanding officer in the 88th Central Postal Directory Battalion, which was made up of African-American women serving overseas during World War II. Adams was the highest-ranking African-American woman in the Army by the completion of the war. At the conclusion of the war, when asked about her groundbreaking achievements, Adams responded simply, "I wanted to do my job." After celebrating victory, she left the service in 1946 to continue her education. And that has been your Black History moment. So, Coach, in these waning couple of minutes before I let you get on out of here, once again, I want to thank you for being on this show, and I look forward to seeing you and the other 3 playoff coaches on the All Madness special. As I said at the first show, you're going to finish in the 2nd slot or the 3rd slot and play in that 2nd game of the Madness. And right now, we're on pace for that.
Yeah, hopefully we get there. You know, we got to take it one game at a time. There's still 5 games left. We got a very, very tough schedule coming up. We got the Celtics twice. We got the Pistons. We got the Sixers one more time, and then we got the Lakers, who are a dangerous team. I know they haven't won the game yet, but every game has been close. They kind of remind me of my Kings from last year. You know, but you know, as a great Coach Amos said, you know, your record says what you are.
You are what your record says you are.
Yes, sir.
And that's a direct quote from Bill Parcells. But I'm glad that you had the opportunity to come on this platform and give it right back to BD Avis.
Had to do it.
So before you get on out of here, Coach, any last words for your players, for anybody in the Kings Nation, any last words whatsoever?
One thing I say is just keep showing up, keep competing, hustle. Just play as a team and enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. But like I said before, early in the show, I just want to thank yourself and thank the rest of the league for accepting me in. And honestly, it's a privilege to me to be here.
And it is a privilege for us to have you in this league. We're always looking for young blood to carry this on because we cannot be here forever. Not saying that you want to be here forever, but you're here now infusing that new blood, that new look, and that's what this league needs. So until next time, I just want to say to all my folks out there, buenas noches, hooches cooches. I came in peace. I leave with love. This is for the red, the black, and the green. And I'm seeing you at the games.